Hello everyone and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Now today, Lexus Guildford have been kind enough to loan me this RX 450 hybrid for 24 hours. I've already filmed my in-depth tour, so that'll be coming shortly. However, I've got one more thing to do. I need to take this to pick my parents up from Gatwick Airport. I can't imagine they'll want to be on camera, although I'm going to try. What I'm going to do is see how well this car deals with the journey. I'm going to cover how well it drives, how smooth it is, what my parents and my sister think about the ride quality, etc, etc. So, before starting my journey, I thought I'd give you a little insight into this Lexus RX 450 hybrid. But for more information, please watch my full in-depth tour. This model is Lexus' flagship luxury SUV and comes in two configurations, front or four-wheel drive. It's powered by a 3.5 litre V6 petrol engine and two electric motors with nickel hydride batteries. These combine to create a total output of 308 brake horsepower and a 0 to 62 mph or 100 km/h time of 7.7 seconds. So the first thing to do is set up the sat nav. So I'm going to give you a little POV with my other camera right here. The screen is controlled by this little thing down here. What I'm going to do is I'll press map, and that should bring all this information up. So destination, address, town. Let's see how easy this is going to be. I think it's in Crawley. So after a bit of playing around, what I had to do was go through the map menu and go to points of interest. So now you can see Gatwick has been selected. It's now given me 3 routes that I can choose from. Quick route, ecological route, or a short route. So I've started my journey to Gatwick. It's actually the biggest car I've taken on a journey like this. I'm interested to see how it's going to handle the motorways. Absolutely boiling day, but I have to say the first thing I've noticed about this car, it has a really good aircon.
Next left.
It's really icy.
Later, traffic restrictions may apply.
She's very posh, isn't she?
Local traffic regulations.
This woman could be my mother or something. It's fantastic, superb. So I've done a fair bit of driving this already. What are some of the conclusions that I can tell you about? Well, it's an extremely smooth ride. The car just sort of wafts along, and you would sort of expect that from Lexus. That's the sort of thing that they go for. Is sort of usable performance when you need it, but most of the time you just want to be in comfort, in a sort of luxurious atmosphere, sort of airy and light, as well as being able to waft along and have an extremely sort of easygoing approach. The steering is also exceptionally light. I mean, this is quite a large car, and yet it's very easy to position it. So what about braking? How do the brakes feel? Well, just like with the LC500 I had to drive the other day, you have to depress the pedal quite far to be able to get anything to happen with the car. But then once it sort of starts to bite, the car slows down very, very quickly. The brakes don't feel inadequate for the car in any way whatsoever. They feel perfectly suited to it. It's just you have to depress them quite a lot. Another thing that I like is the car sort of lifts off and starts very easily with this automatic gearbox. And because it's a hybrid, it's extremely quiet. So I'm currently in eco mode, and that essentially utilises the electric motor and batteries more than, say, Sport Plus, and it's a very quiet driving experience. With the windows up, you're very well insulated, so it's very quiet. So all round, it's just a very sort of relaxed, calm driving experience. I've just entered some very twisty roads going through the Surrey Hills. If you know that area, you'll know exactly what I mean, sort of Gomshall kind of area. And I just wanted to express how well this car can sort of handle these conditions. Now it's a big, in my opinion, sort of a city car, maybe even a motorway car, very comfortable. You can just sort of sit back, put it in eco, and then just sort of cruise. But actually on these small roads, because the visibility is actually pretty good, and it's got quite a direct steering feel, it's actually handling it quite well. Now this is very narrow. Yeah, these roads are absolutely insane. These roads are worse than the little village that I was just in. But the car's actually managing quite well to go through them. It still feels quite wide, obviously, But because of the wing mirrors, like I was saying before, it's quite easy to position it. It's a bit dark here, so everything's gone dark. I can see that the lights have come on the outside, and the sat nav has gone from white to black. And the thing about this power unit, is that it's actually quite direct, just with everything else. In Eco right now, you can sort of put your foot down softly, and you sort of just go very gently forward, all very controllable power. But then if you put your foot down a little bit more, I mean, the engine really sort of cracks in and sort of joins the party, and you can really, really go. I haven't tried Sport Plus yet. I'm going to try it in a little bit, but I think it's actually going to be quite impressive. All right. That was a bit of a hairy moment, actually. Someone driving a Toyota Celica on my side of the road. Bloody hell. As previously discussed, this is a very, very quiet car, but that's because I'm currently in eco mode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into Sport Plus. Let's see if we can hear any difference and feel any difference. I'm going to put my foot down. That was foot straight to the floor. It definitely feels quicker. The car feels stiffer, and you can hear a lot more engine noise than before. Remember, it does have a V6 up front. Let's try that one more time. I don't know if you can hear that. It's still quite quiet, but this isn't meant to be like a high performance car or, you know, sort of a rowdy, brash AMG product. I mean, just coming out of that corner there, the steering felt a lot tighter, and the throttle response was it was noticeably more sharp. You know, as before, it was a lot more relaxed. I'd put my foot down and the car would sort of gracefully move on. Now it's a lot sharper, so it's sort of the instant that I put my foot down on the throttle, there's immediate reaction within the car. On these sorts of roads, it's pretty insane, actually, with Sport Plus. Oh, cyclist, it's a good opportunity to use the power, actually. See? That's quite impressive, actually, for a car as big as this. So turn in, it's quite a tight corner, back off the speed, and sort of power through. It's nice to know that even though this isn't necessarily a out-and-out performance vehicle, like an M-Power, or it's not a Lexus F performance car, switching between the driving modes does actually make difference to the car, to the way that it sounds, to the feel of steering the wheel, to the throttle response. I think I'm going to put it back into Eco and enjoy the rest of my drive. I have arrived at the airport. I've managed to park the car just here. I'm also going to get run over if I don't move. I actually managed to park, I think, quite well, considering, only because the car has so many different parking aids. It's got the 360-degree reversing camera, it's got the blind spot assist, all this different stuff. I am going to go to the terminal and pick everyone up. So the family is all loaded on board of the RX450H. What I want to do really quickly is to show you all of this. So quite a large bag and two sort of normal small bags, plenty of room. So it's the morning after picking up my parents from Gatwick Airport, and you know what, I'm not surprised they didn't want to be in the video. I really tried to coerce them to be a part of it, but you can't force someone to be in such a thing if they don't want to. However, I did manage to get some sort of insights from them about what they thought about their experience in this car, because this is the first time that any of them have been in a brand new Lexus. Well, it's pretty much, 66 plates, pretty much brand new. Now, instead of having my family record themselves and me having to make it all low and creepy like in some sort of crime documentary to disguise anonymity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write up their insights into this car. I'm going to make a blog out of it. You can find all of my blogs on my website. There's a direct link to it in the description of each video, and there's the back page of my channel. That should be live pretty much the same time this video goes out, if not a day or two later, so make sure you check that out. And that way, if you go onto my website, you'll be able to see exactly what they thought of the car. I have to say I'm really impressed with this car. It's quite a big car, but the 3.5 litre petrol V6 with the nickel hydride battery system actually means it's pretty nippy. Like I was saying to you before, it's direct. Is there anything I don't like about it? Well, this is all subjective, of course. I don't like how in the centre here there's a analog speedo. For me, I quite like digital speedos. I think that they're more precise. This colour option spec, the brown, I'm not that into. But in terms of the actual finish of it, I think it's upholstered really well. There's an amazing attention to detail. I mean, the car fulfills its purpose as sort of a luxury 4x4 really, really well. Now, on the way back, I obviously couldn't film because my family are in the car and they didn't want to be on camera. But we went on the motorway. So this thing eats the motorway. I mean, first of all, the comfort inside the car. Look how much space there is between me and the door, me and the central column. There's absolutely loads of space, there's loads of room. The seat's incredibly comfortable. The air conditioning cools the car very, very quickly. So on days like yesterday when it was like 30 degrees and it was very humid, it's able to be very comfortable very quickly. Because the power unit's so good, I mean, it can handle 60, 65 miles per hour at a sort of cruising speed, no problem whatsoever. So, in terms of the motorway drive home, this thing is perfection. Now, I realise I'm still quite a novice at these more driven style review videos, but I think with practice, and hopefully I'm going to get more practice, I'll get better. So hopefully you found a way to enjoy this video. Please subscribe for the latest content. Until next time, cheers.